Brittany Syhakoun. 93% of all women that are in prisons for manslaughter were abused by their husbands or the person that they had killed. 4 out of 5 women in the article that I read said that they were abused by their husbands or the person that they cared for. Someone that they loved was abusing them. I believe that battered women syndrome should be a legal defense for many different reasons. I'm going to start off by telling you the definition of battered women syndrome, and then I'm going to tell you a story of Tanya Mitchell, and then I will go through the different stages of why the women that are being battered and hurt and abused do not run from their abusers. I will go through the reasons why they are like that, and the different treatments and why it should be a legal defense. First of all, the dictionary definition of battered women syndrome is definitely just picking out the different signs and seeing that a woman is being abused. Whether that may be the fact that she's quiet and doesn't say much, or hides her face, hides her bruises and wears a lot more makeup, sunglasses in a room that she wouldn't need, and being able to pick out the different signs that are causing this mental disorder for her. Now that we know the definition of battered women syndrome, I'm going to tell you the story of Tanya Mitchell. Tanya Mitchell is currently serving 15 years in prison, the max sentence of manslaughter that is out in today's date. She's in there because for the length of time that she was with her husband, he would constantly abuse her. Whether that would be putting her down mentally, holding a gun to her head, and letting her hear the clicks, playing games of Russian roulette, or giving her off to a group of motorcyclists and letting them rape her. And when she came home, he then beat her for letting it happen. Tanya's lawyers told her that she could bring up the fact that battered women syndrome could be part of her defense mechanism. But at that point in time, they said that it wouldn't be good enough for the courts for her to be able to use it well enough and win her case. So she pled guilty and went to jail for 15 years. Now that we've heard Tanya Mitchell's story, I will go on to tell you about why women that are being abused do not run. First of all, they believe that they cannot care for themselves on their own. They think that they need their abuser in their life to make sure that they're being supported by their children, or for their children, for them, and to make sure that they have a healthy life. They believe that the things that are happening to them are their fault, that what they're doing isn't good enough and they're being beaten because they deserve it. A lot of these women have a very low self-esteem, and therefore they don't feel as though they will ever be good enough for anyone but their abuser. And which also brings me into the 3 different stages of abuse. Quoted by Lenore Walker, the founder of the Domestic Violence Institution, in 2016, she says that the 3 stages of domestic abuse come short. It starts off really slow, maybe just yelling and arguments, and it gradually begins to getting worse. The second stage is the first abuse, whether that is a simple push or a bloody mess at the end of the hallway. And the third stage is the abuser coming back to the women saying that everything is okay, I'm sorry, I care for you, and I want to make this work. They think of it as a huge cycle that goes over and over and gradually gets worse, whether that would be ending with killing the abuser or the abuser killing the victim. Next, I'm going to talk to you about the different treatments and diagnosing the fact that women is being abused at home if she will not come out and tell you. The treatments that they have are just going into the doctor and getting tested, just like you would for a cold or a flu, or all your depression testings. They will go through a series of questions that they will ask you, and they will let you know, obviously, if you're being abused, they will figure it out and they will contact the police for you, or they will let you go with them and they will ask you if that's something that you would like to do. According to Lenore Walker on PsychCentral.com on October 26, 2015, she talked about the fact that a lot of these women are scared to tell police, and that is something that we would all see coming. A lot of these women don't want to go to the police and they don't want to talk to them about anything like that. They want it to just handle it on their own, and they feel like everything's going to be okay. Now that I've talked to you about the definition of battered women syndrome, Tanya Mitchell's story and why women don't run and the treatments and diagnostics of battered women syndrome, I believe that it should be a legal defense, because if it were anyone that we loved and cared for on the other side and they did something as strong as taking someone's life because of the mental disorder that they have, I feel like it would be in their right to protect themselves and to do whatever they needed to do to survive.
518.